Let's talk Call of Duty Vanguard. Hello everybody, my name is London and I'd like to welcome you all as we take a look at Call of Duty Vanguard now that the game is a couple of months old. Today we'll be talking everything from launch to where we are now being weeks into the game. How things started, how things have changed over the past weeks, the positives, the negatives, and basically an in-depth and honest review. I was going to upload this review 2 weeks ago, however I decided to wait. One reason being that I lost my initial game footage for this video, my best gameplay to date, go figure. So apologies for the less than mediocre gameplay you'll see throughout. I also held off because I wanted to wait until after the new update for Warzone Pacific and Season 1. So what do we think overall? Is Vanguard a hit or a miss so far? Are we excited to see how the game unfolds as we progress through a new chapter of Call of Duty? Or are you simply contemplating about whether you should buy this game or not? So today I'll be sharing my first impressions, including features I'd like to see added to the game, the stuff I'm really liking so far, but also things I feel could definitely be improved, and other issues that have become really annoying. So to be fair, I was a little apprehensive about Call of Duty Vanguard after the beta, due to some major technical issues I had throughout the beta release. Those same issues unfortunately carried through to launch. Now thankfully, I've managed to play around with a few things and fix it myself, so I will be uploading that video on my channel straight away. But I'll explain more about that towards the end of this video, as we're here to talk about the game. So the full game launched on Friday the 5th of November, and I must say it was a very successful launch. It was stable, I wasn't experiencing any disconnections, and I managed to party up with friends without any problems whatsoever. I think we really need to give props to Sledgehammer Games there, because they really did unveil a great launch for us. I must say the spawns need some work, as always when a new game drops, but let's get on to some of the more positive things, like mechanics. So, after playing a fun beta, the launch really outshined the beta release with improvements in so many areas of the full game. The movement is smooth, it feels more responsive, almost like a combination of Modern Warfare 2019, World War II, and a little sprinkle of Call of Duty Ghosts. I don't know, but I'm feeling those vibes somehow. The added in-game settings, and let me tell you, there are a lot of settings, but they really enable you to adjust, or for a better word, tailor, a more individual setup based on your personal preferences when it comes to gameplay. You merely adjust those settings based on the type of player you are. So whether you're an aggressive player, like always up in the thick of things, or you're more of a laid-back sort of player, the settings you choose can really help in terms of playstyle by adjusting those settings accordingly. And of course, those settings can be accessed and or altered in-game if you needed to make any tweaks mid-play. In Call of Duty Vanguard, we see the return of the FOV slider for console players, another great addition to add to the mechanics in, again, helping to contribute to the way in which the game performs. Now personally, my field of view slider is maxed out at 120, as it was for Cold War, and many people say their sweet spot is somewhere between 90 and 100, or maybe 110. Personally, I like 120, so again, that's just personal preference. Now I am still experimenting with the numerous options in the settings menu, so once I'm happy with that, I'll share them with you, or maybe you have a great setup that I should know about. Now, one of the things that's bothering me is that my Call of Duty Vanguard seems to be chilling on moderate Nat Type. I do play on a next-gen console, but the Nat Type is open, all port forwarding is complete, prior Call of Duty games are open, but no, not Vanguard. For some reason, Vanguard is on moderate. Is your game Nat Type open? Is it moderate? Is it strict? From what I can gather, it seems to be only Xbox players that are suffering. A friend of mine did have a response from the Activision studio, which said, and I quote, "The studio is aware of the issue. We are doing everything we can to resolve this issue as soon as possible. I'm afraid that there is no estimated time. They are working hard as we speak to have this solved as soon as possible for you and all the affected players. We just need to be patient while they fix it." Well, we are being patient and they haven't fixed it yet, so hopefully that's coming soon for all Xbox players who are stuck with this problem. Moving on, there are a ton of weapons in Vanguard, 38 weapons in total, not including blueprints. And of course not including new weapons that will launch throughout the game. But as for base weapons, we have 28 primaries which go all the way to level 70 and 10 secondaries which cap out at level 60. And if you're like me, a player who likes to grind for the ultimate camo, which is Atomic on Vanguard, then the battle is really on. Now I have a bit of a gripe with regards to leveling my guns, and that is that for a few years now, Call of Duty games have only given us a measly 10 class sets. That's where you create a class. Personally, I'm the type of player who obviously enjoys playing with every weapon, or at least leveling towards the ultimate camo, but honestly, 10 class slots, it just doesn't do it for me. In addition to getting camos, I also like to keep my favourite classes in there too. Sometimes I like a variation in attachments on the same gun, but right there, that takes up 2 of my class slots out of 10 that we are provided with. So keeping a couple of favourite classes on top of trying to grind all weapons for camos, there just aren't enough class sets in my opinion. Sledgehammer, please can we have more? Do you know, I think it was Ghosts or maybe Advanced Warfare, and I actually had 100 class slots. I had so many to create numerous classes. And while that may be a little overwhelming, I think being awarded an extra class like old school COD when we prestige, or perhaps have it as a reward or a challenge, I think it would make the game much more enjoyable for me personally anyway. Take for instance Call of Duty Cold War. I earned 44 prestige keys and I didn't use one of them. Now, if I could have bought class slots with them, I'd have used the whole 44, believe me. So yes, extra class slots would be nice. There were 16 maps at launch and I'm enjoying them all. On the 17th of November, the map Shipment dropped, a fan favourite of a classic map in Call of Duty. All in all, there's a great variety of small, medium and larger maps to be had. I think it's the first Call of Duty launch where I really enjoyed playing all the maps. There are plenty of game modes in both core and hardcore to keep everyone busy, and as usual, you can filter the games you prefer from the menu with a new option of choosing combat pacing. So what combat pacing is, it defines the number of players in a match, so you can choose which one suits you or which one you feel like playing at the time. Personally, I'm having fun on Blitz. But again, like altering game settings, this added feature really helps your preferred method of gameplay. Spawns, as I've already mentioned earlier, are a little crazy. They're a bit dodgy right now, honestly, but not as bad as previous games at launch. But they aren't the best, and they definitely need some work for sure. There's no theatre option on Call of Duty Vanguard, but what it does give us is lots of game modes, and of course we have Warzone, Campaign, and Zombies. Most valued player. In multiplayer, I do enjoy the MVP at the end of every game. This is new. So not only do we get the play of the game, but in addition, there's a choice of 3 other players who were chosen as an asset to the game that we all just played. So for instance, someone will have most multi-kills, most headshots, and maybe the third, say, has most captures if it's an objective game. And out of the 3 players, there is a winner based on who everyone votes for. So everybody who's just played the game casts their votes. So I thought that was a nice added touch. I do feel the MVP could be speeded up. It does seem to take a little bit too long to get through. Some of the not so great things in game, minus the unpredictable spawns, are number 1, for me, trying to put down a mortar barrage. This kill streak is like a death sentence. I have died so many times trying to throw one of those down. I understand it can't be used indoors unless there's no ceiling, but it seems to take me around 5 or 6 times to actually use it. Now I found out they've actually put a fix in to make the mortar barrage easier to throw down. Well, that's all well and good, but I was playing and I go to throw down my mortar barrage and I throw it down, but the graphic of it still being in my hand, it kind of pops back into my hand, and then obviously I can get killed because I'm holding this mortar barrage even though I've thrown it down. So yeah, it's not completely fixed yet. It sucks. Number 2, there's a huge improvement with the death machine and war machine. So unlike past games, you know how you could use it and maybe kill 1 or 2 people before dying and then it's just gone? Well, in Call of Duty Vanguard, it doesn't matter how many times you die. You keep that kill streak on your person until the ammo's finished. What I don't particularly like is once it's out of ammo, it seems to prematurely stop. There's a pause and I find myself kind of fumbling to put my primary back into my hands, so it doesn't automatically switch. Number 3, and what has to be the most annoying thing, is bumping and grinding with fellow teammates. Players bumping and banging into each other in the middle of a gunfight is really not fun. Or I could be like shooting at an enemy and a teammate runs by and knocks me off my target. Then there's the players blocking your movement, blocking doorways, or a 3-person collision as you're all trying to squeeze through the door at the same time. I do hope this gets addressed, or I might be raging for the rest of the year, honestly. Number 4, and my final gripe, is kind of similar to the annoyance of bumping into teammates whilst playing. It's the dreaded combat shield, especially when it's your fellow teammates that are using them. As if it wasn't bad enough trying to kill an enemy wearing one, shooting at the opposition and having a teammate run past so you end up hitting their combat shield has to be one of the most aggravating things as you try and dodge and dance around them. In most matches, the World and his wife are wearing a shield on their back, and I just think it would be a great improvement if when you're firing at the opposition, your bullets could simply travel on through those friendly combat shields. I think having that ability to shoot through friendly players' shields would make a huge difference. Now, I did say that was my final gripe, but I do have a few more points to add. Heading into week 3 of Vanguard, I had a few more audio issues. I also started to experience disconnections with the service, and there was no end to the packet burst indicator on screen as I played. Unfortunately, things went a little downhill after the launch of Warzone Pacific and Season 1. The hit detection in multiplayer felt so off. My aim went out of the window and the servers felt really unstable. About a week later, it felt like, it felt a little bit better for me, but I'm just hoping it remains that way. There are quite a few bugs that need to be ironed out in Call of Duty Vanguard. It's nothing too major for most, but typically they are the same things that we've seen in the past, such as that little indicator telling you, for instance, your operator or weapon has earned something new when they haven't. I'm finding the audio not too great when it comes to hearing footsteps. I hear teammate footsteps clear as a bell, but enemies seem to sneak up behind me and I don't hear anything at all, even though they're not wearing dead silence, or in this case, ninja. And something with the audio that's been happening since day 1 is that it just completely cuts out sometimes. Also, there is, I've noticed, the sound of a parachute deploying here and there when playing regular multiplayer. So as I said, a few little things that could be improved. Although I'm not sure if this is affecting everyone or just a select few, and of course there could be different bugs or issues affecting different people. Sledgehammer Games released its Christmas event for Call of Duty Vanguard, Festive Fervor. It brought new game modes, challenges and new bundles. Every holiday, Call of Duty surprises us with an exciting event, with this Christmas being no exception. So the $1 million question is, would I recommend this game? Yeah, absolutely, I definitely would. Honestly, boredom will not be a factor. You have the prestige system, so many great game modes in both core and hardcore. We've got the camo grind, numerous challenges, and in addition, lots of challenges per operator. And yes, the game is really fun, and I think there's something for everyone. and a huge selection of options to cater for any kind of player. So it's a big thumbs up from me, and I'm pretty excited to see how it all plays out throughout the year. Now, at the beginning, I did mention that I did have some technical difficulties that unfortunately followed me from Call of Duty Vanguard beta to the game itself. This is with reference to over 8 of my guns that just don't work. They don't fire, or they'll tend to misfire, so obviously that's not great. Now, I did play around a bit, and thankfully they're all working now, so if you have this problem too, then check out my next video, which I'll be uploading tomorrow. And if you do have that issue too, then hopefully my fix will help you also. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at London Girl Gaming. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope you found this review helpful. And don't forget, like this video and subscribe to my channel if you hate campers. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.